What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. This is episode 14 of Hoops Talk with Dave's joint. Thanks for the support thus far. If you haven't seen this series, go onto our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and Twitter page. But without further ado, we welcome Mr. Allan Sheppard, who's also known as Al Shep. For those of you guys that follow streetball or basketball in general from the New York area, you've seen him. Shep, thank you for coming on to talk to me. Greatly appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, man. I pay attention to all episodes that come out. I see you just have my dog Corey Underwood on here. So definitely that's my homie. So appreciate following up. Not too far from him. So thank you for having me, man.
No doubt. Well, he's episode 7. You're episode 14. So
yeah, that's the one I just saw him. I just saw him post his joint.
Mm-hmm.
I just was watching it like 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, let's start. So let's talk, like, since you're a coach now, what's Al Shep's coaching philosophy?
Oh man. Coaching philosophy, if I had to just pinpoint one thing realistically, I would say a quote that's just stuck with me since I was a kid. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. All right? I don't care if I got a team full of 5 stars or if I got a team full of 1 stars, right? The outcome of the game is going to be on how hard you play. Outcome of the game is going to be on the preparation for it or how hard we get in the gym and we work. So we approach every game the same. And if you put the work in, you live with the results at the end of it.
Indeed. So how long have you been playing basketball?
Playing since I was a baby, since I was probably, 3-4 years old, been playing. And that's just, everywhere. That's playing in parks, growing up, walking around with a basketball with my pops or my brother. So I've been at this game I'm 35. I've been at this game 30 years, realistically.
So where are you from in New York City?
I'm from Harlem. So
okay.
I'm from Harlem. I was born and raised on 142nd and Lenox Avenue. Right across the street from Tri-State. That's my town. So I'm an uptown dude.
Talk about the basketball culture in Harlem.
Now or
in general?
In general, basketball culture in Harlem. If you're a kid growing up in Harlem, there's so many people that you can look up to that you can aspire to be like, right? And that's just from people who've made it or people who just had a buzz in the hood, right? People who went to school and maybe didn't become a pro, but still did it the right way, that you still had all types of outlets to look up to. And I'm talking about if you're from my block, you looked up to Ali Mo, you looked up to Kareem Reed, you looked up to Guard Shamgar. Those was the big brothers of basketball as a kid. When Ali Mo was doing the whole and one thing, like you ran to the park to see Ali Mo. When Sham decided that he was going to say, like, yo, listen, I'm about to play in this game and I need everybody to pull up. When Sham put a uniform on, everything stopped. Like, everything stopped. No matter where you was at, no matter what you was doing, you went to watch Sham play. And then, for Kareem Reed, me being left-handed like him, even though I'm bigger than him, it's just a lot of things that he did as a guard. I used to always watch how he controlled the floor, how he put people on his hip, how he always got to his spots, because they always say left-handers are awkward, but we're tough to guard. So I used to watch Kareem a lot just to see how he moved on the floor, just to see that spin move that everybody said they know is coming, but they can't guard. So when you're coming up as a kid, you inspire to be that. And then when you start getting respect from those guys, you start wanting to really take it to another level, right? Like, it's always been like that since I was a kid. You've had wars in Harlem. You've had uptown, downtown battles. You've had people that pull up to your block and want somebody to play you one-on-one. You would go around from neighborhood to neighborhood with 2 or 3 people, or get your 5 from your block, and you go play a 5 from up the hill. So growing up in Harlem as a kid playing basketball is special, and it just it exemplifies what New York City basketball is, right? Like, I think every borough has talent, right? And I'm sure that somebody from Brooklyn could say the same thing about theirs, but you took pride in where you was from. If you knew that you was about to go play a game in the Bronx, you knew if you lost that game in the Bronx, when you got back, nobody was going to say that you lost. They're going to say you lost to somebody from the Bronx. Yeah. So you took pride in being from Harlem. You took pride in being from a certain area, and you took pride in being a hooper. So it's always been fun, man. It's always been fun. As I got older, and as I started becoming, more in tune with my peers and also my competitors, then you started respecting a lot of other people, especially from Harlem. The Keyshawn Clarks, who's one of my best friends, the T2s, the Jesse Sack, Jason Wingate, guys like that. Like you took I started taking a real liking into not only competing against them guys, being teammates with them, but also what they bring to our town, right? Not just to basketball, but the exposure that they bring to being from Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When people say Harlem, and everybody, you get people who tend to go, "Dang, you're from Manhattan. Harlem's not a borough." Now, we don't really look at it like that. We want to be our own small world, but It's a blessing to be from here. So if you're a hooper and you're from the town, basketball world's smaller than the real world. So when you hoop and that people watching you, I started really taking a liking and a respect to other people that was doing the same thing I was doing from my area, from my demographic, right? I respected what Jesse Sapp was doing on the east side, because I'm from the west. You know what I mean? And you have those east side, west side battles, but it's a respect thing, right? And then, I'm from Lenox, Keek is from up the hill. You'll have Lenox playing against the hill, but it's now that's my man. I respect. I see what he's doing over there. And that's why, and that's being friends, but that's also being competitors. Because then it's going to come a time when your 5 from uptown got to go downtown. And now me and Sack can't be friends in that moment, but you respect what's going on. So I wouldn't ask to be from nowhere else, especially not growing up playing this game of basketball.
When you were younger, what was the one tournament that one or a couple tournaments that you liked to play in?
When I was younger, couple tournaments I loved to play in. I loved Save the Children on 139th, Lenox Avenue in the park. I love Kingdom. I love Young World. I love Dog Show. And I'm just talking like the hood. I'm not talking outside of the hood right now. Like, I'm talking about in Harlem. That's where I love. Like, I love walking to a game in Young World, and you got to walk past the gate, and it's everybody outside waiting for your team to play. Right? I love walking through the projects in Foster, getting ready to go play inside Kingdom. Dog Show, like it's a small court, and you just got 200, 300 people packed around the gate watching what's going on the floor. And then, of course, as I got older and, the tournaments got bigger and, you took your talent everywhere, of course, like there's some things that's just a no-brainer. I'm from Lenox. I always play in Tri-State. Going uptown and playing in Dyckman, right? Like I played in Dyckman for years, since the high school division when I was in high school, right? Like those is just no-brainers. Like, you don't even really consider those, like, because you just know if you never played there, then you really ain't played anywhere, right? Like, those are no-brainers. But those other type of tournaments who might not even be around right now or don't have their buzz, my era, that was it. Kingdom was Dyckman, my era. Like that, so that's where, those just to name a few is my favorites. Especially those because I miss them. Like I wish Young World was still around for like the kids that's coming up right now because it was a major outlet for kids. You had a high school coach at one of the biggest programs ever running the tournament, right? You had Mo Hicks running Young World, and he was the head coach of Rice High School, which is a powerhouse. So if you was a kid that even thought about getting into high school, you knew if you wanted to play well in Kingdom because either Mo was there or one of his friends was there that could tell him about you.
So yeah, did you play AAU when you were in high school?
I did. I played with Riverside.
You know, talk about, you know, playing with the church.
So it's funny because a few of my friends, we was just talking about it the other day because I've been seeing people have been digging up the old files of Riverside pictures, and that team that had Elton Brand, Ron Artest, LO, all of them, like those were our bigger brothers at the church at the time. Like we would practice if they practiced at 3. We was playing probably midgets at that time. We probably practiced at 1. But when our practice was over, we didn't leave. You just wanted to stick around and watch them practice because that's how good of a team they were, and that's what you aspired to be. So growing up at the church, I'm still a Hawk for life. Like once I never played with any other AAU program. I thought about leaving, but never left. And growing up with the church, it was just amazing. It was so many things that they taught me, so many things that they instilled in me that I still use to this day, especially inside of coaching, just the culture of basketball, the culture of being a family, the culture of respecting your teammate, the culture of respecting the game, and really embracing brotherhood. That's what the church was, right? Like if you played on the C team, let's say, everybody on the A team still knew who you were. If we traveled, we all traveled together, except if it was like a major tournament. But anything that was in the city, anything like that, we did everything together. So growing up with the church, I loved it because if I look at AAU basketball today and I look at it from, growing up at the church, there was nothing that was just given. Everything was earned. You earned your minutes, and if you earned minutes with us, you had to be good because we had so much talent that was coming through there. My team with the church in high school, it's funny, I played the 5. I had to play the center position because we were stacked with guards. We were stacked, and probably I think it was my junior year of it. I think we only lost 2 games my whole junior year with Riverside. Me and Keidron Clark split MVP. We was co-MVP, or he got it or I got it in damn near every single tournament. And I'm talking about from the road to, anything local. We won everything. We probably lost 2, maybe 3 games that whole year of our junior year. And that's me, that's Ricky Soliver, that's Bobby Santiago, that's Keith, that's Jay Wingate, that's Arturo. Like we had a squad, guys who people wouldn't even know. Like if I name Petey, some people would be like, "Who's Petey?" But they don't even understand what Petey brought to Riverside when we were there. Like we had a great team, and damn near everything that we played in ended up being Riverside versus Riverside in the championship, unless it was something that we was in, that might have had like the Gauchos or something like that, and then we really had those type of wars. But I wouldn't have asked to be in any other program because it really taught me the value of the game of basketball and not taking it for granted. Because if you miss practice today, tomorrow there might be somebody else there that's ready to take your spot, and you got to go battle and earn that spot back because that's how many guys was coming through the church.
Mm-hmm. So talk about, your 4 years at A. Philip Randolph.
4 years at A. Philip Randolph, it was great. All-time leading scorer there, over 3,000 points.
Wow.
3 years of varsity. 3 years of varsity. My first year I played JV. the funny thing about it is, and I was having this conversation the other day, I was going to play 2 years of JV. I didn't think I was ready for varsity. And it wasn't that I wasn't ready to play. I just thought that when I was watching varsity games as a kid, and I'm watching them play against like Manhattan Center and things like that, I was like, yo, I know I could play, but if I'm not going to play, then I'd rather go stay on JV and kill. Like, I don't want to just be one of them guys that's just on varsity and I ain't doing nothing. Like, I knew I had talent to make the team, but I'm like, if I'm only going to get 6 minutes a game, 5 shots a game, what am I playing for? And my coach that was there, and he wasn't even like a real basketball guy, but he was a hard-nosed, like, military type of dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think that you're better than guys on varsity right now as a sophomore? I said, yeah. He was like, well, I'm not promising you anything, but if you want the minutes and the shots that you say, go take a spot. And I was like, yo, I hear you, but, you know, you got your favorites, you got seniors. And he told me straight up and down, he said, if you try to play JV again, because he was also the dean of the school, he said, if you try to play JV again, I'm going to block it.
So he challenged you like early on.
He challenged me, which made me grow up faster through the game. And with that, that's when it just was like, okay, I see what this is going to be, and now let me work on my game to get better. So 4 years there, I wouldn't do it any other way because of my accomplishments there. I just missed the things that other people were getting, like my peers was getting, like
championships,
you know, long playoff runs, packed houses of, you know, college coaches because of, not only because of talent, but also because of the schools that they might have went to that had, you know, a reputation of recruitment, things like that. I really changed everything around in a sense. I took what we did at Riverside and I took what was going on with my friends at other schools and I brought it to Randolph. My senior year, going into my senior year, I didn't feel like we was going to be able to compete with other schools because of we was doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we not doing 2 or 3 days? Why are we not in the weight room? Why are we not, you know what I mean, getting up and doing 6 a.m. conditioning runs? So I went to my coach and I told him straight up, if you don't change the format of this, I'm leaving. And I didn't have nowhere to go. I knew I'd probably go somewhere because I was just in a position where I had played really well my junior year. I knew a bunch of people. And I'd never talked to coaches about transferring. Coaches asked me to transfer, and I just kind of brushed it off because I was content with my situation, and I'm not going somewhere. If I'm getting 20 shots as a junior, that means my senior I'm gonna get about 25 to 30. Why am I leaving? I wasn't gonna go somewhere my senior year and only get 12 shots.
So that was just kind of like a threat, like, yo, if you don't, kind of like what NBA players would probably do, like with a coach, like, yo, if you don't change stuff around, I want out.
Yeah, basically, and it wasn't a threat to make him give me what I want, but it was a threat for me to prepare for next level. Like when I train kids, when I train anybody right now, I tell them the same thing. I'm not training you for where you're at right now. I'm training you for where you're trying to go. Right? Like if you're a senior, I'm training you to go mentally prepare to have to do this all over again, right? If you're a high school senior, when you step into them doors as a college freshman, nobody give a damn what you did in high school. Now you got to retrain your mind. So I'm training you for where you're going. So I wasn't threatening him to, you know, to leave or give me my way, but I was like, yo, listen, I got to prepare for where I'm trying to go. So if I know that at Rice, they already operating. I'm talking to Keegan and Jay, and by 2:00 in the afternoon, they already had 2 workouts, and I haven't even had my first one. I'm like, nah, this can't work for me. So I told them straight up and down, I need 6:30 workouts. I need at least 2 days of just strength conditioning. I need skill work, and we still got to have practice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't give me that, and you can't give that to the team, then I gotta go somewhere else that's going to make it beneficial for me as a player. I don't know if 12 guys on this team got the same goals that I got, but I know where I'm trying to go with this game of basketball. So we came to an understanding. We came to an agreement. I told him he had to start putting me in, and this is why my senior year I ended up scoring a lot more points than the previous years, because I told him I need to be in preseason tournaments. I need to be in Christmas tournaments. Like we on vacation for 2 weeks for Christmas, and we not practicing, we not playing the game. That's not going to get me better. That's not going to give me the looks that I want to get.
Mm-hmm.
So when he started making those adjustments, I'm big on loyalty. So that's why I stayed there. And my senior year, it panned out to be a great year, a nice little playoff run, won a game, then had a hell of a battle with Park West and Ramel Bradley, and lost, I think, probably at the buzzer or by like 2. Two. My guard missed 2 free throws. Yeah, one of my guards at that time, he missed 2 free throws, man. But so that's what those 4 years was, though, and those 4 years there helped me be a great leader, helped me be a multi-purpose type of player, somebody who can get 30, but when you see that teammates got to get involved, sacrificing 30 for 22 because you got to get you a couple assists, learning how to pick guys up, learning how to motivate guys, learning how to fight through battles, learning how to win dog fights of games, and really just learning how to be a leader with putting things on my back and understanding that now, especially as a senior captain, everything is going to be on my shoulders because I'm the face, I'm the name. So I'll just learn how to take everything on the chin and just be like, you know what, I got it, and I'm okay with rolling with the punches with whatever happens.
Talk about being the leading scorer in the PSAL with 26 points and 7 rebounds your senior year.
29 and 12.
Oh wow! So the Daily News lied then, because they had your
12.
Wow.
29 and 12. It's funny because it was Tom Kachowski, me and he was amazing for basketball. And I thank Tom Kachowski every single time that I see him because he went on remember he had a show like that came on like MSG or something like that.
High School Weekly.
Yeah, High School Weekly. And Tom went on there and called me the best and most underrated swingman in New York City, my senior year. And when he did that, that's when the recruitment and everything like that kind of picked up. That's when kind of people was like just starting to really take a look into it. And at that time, the Daily News had me at 26.7. And I remember he came to watch me at practice, and he was like, you can't keep averaging 26 if I'm gonna say that you're the best player and you're the only person on the team. I think you need to take about 5-6 more shots.
Wow.
So the second half of the season is when I just started going crazy. I'm like, all right, cool. I understood what he was saying. And I finished with 29 and 12. But my school, Randolph was never big for stats, things like that, like scorekeepers or whatever. So I remember I had 55 one game, and the next day it wasn't in the papers because our team manager never sent the numbers in.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, like we wasn't no big time school. So if you didn't go to the game, or if you wasn't a friend of somebody at the school, they're like, you had 55 versus George Washington. It's not even like the scorebook is not even, and it was a home game. It wasn't.
Nobody would ever know.
Nobody would know because it wasn't in the paper. So the Daily News, my parents, we tried to argue. We tried to send them things in, like send screen, like not screenshots at that time, but just send
some paper,
send the paperwork in to show them. But they just was like, it's over. We already got them in here. We're not gonna update it. We'll leave it at that. And I was cool because 26 and 7 is not bad. But 29-12 is just a lot better.
So for everybody watching this, Al Shep's averaged 29 and 12, not the 26 and 7 that the Daily News reported.
Nah,
Shame on the Daily News.
Because me and Sebastian was going back and forth that year as leading scorers in New York City, and me and Bassie were super cool. So I would see Bassie get 40, and in my mind, I would get 42. I would see Bassie only had 18, and I'm like, oh, I could take the lead if I go get 28 right now. So it was, that 29-12, man. But to answer your question, though, just doing that as a senior and leading that, my mindset and I got it from my brother. My brother kind of told me something that stuck with me. He was like, you play basically the whole game unless you get in foul trouble. If you get, let's say, 8 points a quarter, you at 32.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Right? And I was like, damn. And he was like, don't think about 8 points of a quarter. That's not even a lot. It's 8 points. So I was like, yeah, but when my senior year, I'm facing double teams. He was like, get 4 in transition, get to the free throw line, make 2 free throws, and then just get a regular basket. That's your 8 a quarter. He's like, you can't get 8 points in 8 minutes each quarter. So when he told me that, and I start really like breaking down like how I'm being guarded and shots that I'm passing up, I was like, nah, you absolutely right. Because I would be the guy who, if I went crazy in the first quarter, I would try to get guys involved in the second quarter. Like, I want to keep the team morale up. I don't want people thinking I'm a nut. I don't want to pass. But then I just got extremely hungry. Like, I just got real selfish and hungry because I was feeling like I was slighted by those that was around me. I knew I was better than people that was around me. I was never, if I was top 100, I was 98. And I'm like, it ain't no way in the world that there's 97 people better than me. So I just got hungry and I just started getting selfish. So I was like, you know what? My teammates gonna have to live and die with me going to get 40. We wasn't winning anyway. Like, we wasn't 22-0 anyway. We was gonna be a little over 500. So y'all just got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't deal with it, show that you can do what I do.
In other words, put up or shut up.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? So that's just where that was just became my mentality. And it just, that's when the numbers even went up even more. I never forget, I had like, and FDA probably was the only school in PSAL like that was in my division that kind of played like I don't think I ever cracked 20 against them because it's just how they guarded me. They threw multiple people at me, zones, and they had a whole lot of talent. And I never forget, my brother called me before we played one time, and he was like, yo, listen, you better play FDA. And I was talking to my man over there, and he bet you can't even get 14 against him. And I was like, I can't get 14. What you talking about? And he was like, yo, that's one of the only games that's hurting you. I was like, okay, I got it. And then I went and got like 19 and like 12 or something like that through the double teams and all that. And when I realized I could do that against really good talent, doubles, there was no way in the world that any other school was going to be able to play me one-on-one. You can't. So
how did the St. Francis offer come about?
So again, I'm big on loyalty. St. Francis came about. They was, like I told you, I helped my coach change a lot of things around for me, especially my senior year. My coach didn't have the biggest name in basketball. So he didn't have the big time, relationships and stuff like that. So I started doing a lot of things myself with recruitment. I started just doing things on my own, and AAU wise, people were helping me. Riverside was helping me. Book Richardson was helping me a lot. So I started doing things on my own. My dream school was Miami. So I had sent Miami and I had sent Clemson my own game tape.
Did they ever respond?
Miami responded. They said that they liked me, and I sent them the game tape and the schedule. They liked it, asked to come see me, and they signed. They had one scholarship left and signed. I think it was the kid Darius Richardson. Darius Richards or something like that. The tall, like 6'8", 6'7", wing kid that they signed that year. But the coach even still was messaging me after games. Like, he'll check the papers and then he'll still send me a message like, yo, you ain't coming to Miami, but you still bad. I like you. So when St. Francis came about, I started playing well. Aunt Duran and Book started sending people to see me. I messed up my own recruitment. I was suspended for a game for a class, and Seton Hall came to the gym to watch me. But it was a random pop-up. They didn't tell anybody that they was coming. They randomly popped up in the gym. They came to watch me, and I wasn't in uniform. So
and this is when Lewis Orr was there.
Yeah, and they was asking like, "Is he hurt?" And one of the teachers was sitting next to Lewis Orr and was like, "Nah, he ain't hurt. He's suspended. Grades." Damn. Like, and I get it. It's okay. But that hurt me because I feel like if I'd have played that game, it could have went differently. Right? So even with that though, I think Lewis might have left after the first quarter because I wasn't playing. The coaches from St. Francis was there, and they stayed the whole game. And my coach told me at St. Francis, Glenn Breaker, he was like, I stayed and watched that game to see what type of character of a person you are for your teammates while you're not in uniform.
Wow, that's big.
So when they started recruiting, and they knew, like, my senior year that I wasn't going to make the grade, that I was possibly going to be a Prop 48, other schools that was on me started backing off. They stayed. So when they decided to stay, I still was leery about it. I had a great friend that I really looked up to in Bronski Dockery that went to St. Francis. He kind of was still steering me the right way. Like, nah, you should still come here, come on a visit. Don't worry about it. Even if you got to sit out a year, you're going to be fine. You'll get stronger throughout the first year, whatever the case may be. And St. Francis never pulled a scholarship. I was still thinking about not going and going to prep school. I had a meeting with Mr. Leutch at that time at Riverside to go prep and not deal with, sitting out. And my mother was like, no, listen, everything happens for a reason. Even if you can't play, maybe it'll be a humbling experience for you, and it's going to help you grow up and mature as a young man. Go start your college education. And in the Sheppard household, when my mother say go,
yeah,
right? So even though me, my brother, my father, we felt a little differently about it, we still stuck true to her word. And it was always the dreams of playing basketball and being a pro and all that was great, but there was always a promise that you'll get a college education. So that was a promise to her. So it was like, you know what? Let's start this. Let's start it. St. Francis still was like, listen, we don't care when he get in uniform. We want you. This is our plan for you when you finally get in uniform. And this is our plan for you. If you don't make the grade, you got to sit out. So, I trusted Breaker. I trusted Ron Gangland, and I stuck it out. And I took that offer.
So talk about, your time with St. Francis. You didn't get to play your first year, but you still got to play 3 years with them.
Mhm.
Talk about your time in the NEC with the Terriers.
It was great. It was great. I wouldn't change anything about it. I'm a product of the way the game goes, right? Like you deal with the rules, you deal with what's going on, and you can't really do anything about that. Um, when I sat out my first year and I learned a lot. I learned like, damn, they work. College guys work. Like the weight room, the running, the lifting, like they're physically strong. I learned a lot sitting out and just watching the game and watching how people prepare for practice and learning how to take care of your body, which is something in high school that I never thought about. I came into high school I came into college from high school as like a toothpick and eating bad and not really caring about, a meal plan and things like that. And, yeah, I'm doing push-ups and all that, but that wasn't enough. So when I sat out, I was able to see realistically how guys work. So that helped me. That helped me in the off season. That helped me put on muscle. That helped me just prepare for what was in front of me. Then I got the chance to play, and I tore the NEC up. Got Rookie of the Year, and I had a chance to transfer. My coaching staff after my first year that I played got fired. Ron Ganlin and Glenn Breaker got fired, and that's when Glenn went over to St. John's with Norm Richardson. And Norm and Glenn was like, "Come with me. Come to St. John's." And St. John's was another like school of mine that I loved, that I always wanted to go to. But I couldn't mentally go through sitting out again. Sitting out my first year was super tough when the season started. Because now, I couldn't travel. They had the rule in where Prop 48s couldn't travel. So teams is on the road. My team is on the road. They on a week tournament. I'm still at school in class. You know what I'm saying? I could work out. I couldn't physically practice. I could do individuals, but I couldn't get on the court 5-on-5 and practice. So when it was time to make the transition after my first year and they asked me to transfer, and everybody else was on board, and I was on board physically. I wasn't on board mentally. Just because I just played well, like it was like high school all over again. I just came from tearing the city up in high school, and then I got to come to college and I got to sit out while all my friends is playing. I'm talking to Keek at St. Peter's. I'm talking to J5 at Manhattan. I'm talking to Bert at Iona. And I'm itching, like, I can't wait to get on this court. And then I had to sit out for that. All right, cool. Now I finally get on the court, and I'm doing what they doing, and now I can add value to our conversations because now all of us talking about our games. I'm like, mentally, do I really want to go through this again of watching my friends play and I can't play, killing my body, and I can't even reward it by going to get 20 in the game? So I was like, mentally, I couldn't do it. So I stuck it out there. We had a coaching change, and Brian Nash came in. And me and B Nash, we clashed, but we clicked. Mm-hmm. Two alpha males. He wanted things his way, which was a little bit different than what I was used to, especially from coming off of the year that I came off of, right? We playing 4 out, 1 in, but I'm playing the 4 as a mismatch. Now we going to 3 out, 2 in, but I got to play the 3. So not that I don't get the mismatch opportunities, but now I don't have no space to really work the way I want to work because I got somebody on the right block that I might have to dump it down to and cut through, and then I got somebody on the left block that's supposed to be setting the screen for me when I cut. This is not what I'm used to. I need the floor to be open. I need to work. So it was like, it was a clash, but we got through it. And he helped me a lot as preparing for that next level. Because my senior year, I was the only senior I had nothing but young guys with me. I had maybe like 2 or 3 juniors, and everybody else was sophomores and freshmen. So the responsibility and the load of everything, if practice went bad, if guys showed up late, if guys didn't bust their ass in the weight room, everything fell on me. Mentally, it took a drain because we had a big argument that brought us even closer, but it prepared me for getting ready to go across that water because I might be the only American. So him doing that, it helped me mature. Allan Griffin played a major role in player development for me because he was like, listen here, I don't know what we're going to do this year, but you want to be a pro? You ready to work like a pro? So I was like, yeah. And then and that's when I started understanding how pros really work. Because, I mean, Griff did it at the highest level at Syracuse. Griff did it across that water. And then it was like, nah, yeah, we got 7 a.m. individuals, but are you going to come at 6 a.m. and just work out with just me for an hour before individuals start? We got 3 o'clock practice, but you get out of class at 1:30. Are you going to meet me in the weight room at 2:15? And then are you going to get shots up with me after practice? Or are you going to go, or are you going to go run back to the dorm? So he changed, and I thought I worked hard until my senior year of just working with him. Then I realized, like, nah, I got another level that I can go to. So my 4 years there, the way I was treated in the building, the friendships I made, St. Francis is a small school, so you know everybody. The coaching staff that I had from when I started to the transition to even going back now and helping work out like the younger guys, and I wouldn't even ask for anything different. I appreciate everything that they did for me because they helped me grow up. They saw a young kid. They took a gamble on a very young kid and gave me nothing but the keys for 4 years there.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Shout outs to Glenn Breaker, Ron Ganlin, and Brian Nash. Talk about Coach Ganlin when he recruited you, and Coach Breaker.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't read Ganlin. I couldn't read Ganlin, man. He's very old school.
Yeah, man.
And he's very tough. He's like never satisfied with anything. And it's not to belittle you, but it's to always keep you grounded. Like, I could go get 30, and the next day in film, he's going to find the negatives that I did in that game and show you the negatives. Yeah, but in my mind, I'm sitting there like, yo, coach, I just had 30. Why are we even talking negative? Why we can't show the positive stuff I did? So it was always to humble you. I take pride in playing defense. And I think that I wouldn't love the defensive end of the floor as much as I do if I didn't have him. Breaker was a free fall on half court. Like on offense, do what you want. But if you don't get your behind back and play some defense, it's going to be a problem. Shoot it from the half court if you want to. But if it go in or if it don't go in, you better be able to pick your man up 94 feet and guard.
Was he screaming, "Get your stance" back in the day?
Oh, my God.
He's legendary for that.
I probably still gonna have a nightmare over getting your stance. Just because you heard it over and over and
over again.
And like, it does not, and I'm talking about he's a stickler for perfection on the defensive end. You can get a stop, you can take a charge, you can force a bad shot, whatever. When he breaks down film, he's going to show you, yeah, you got to stop, but I don't care because you didn't get it the right way. You didn't get a steal with your inside hand like you were supposed to because you wasn't up the line. You lunged with the right hand and you didn't get a steal. He just threw a bad pass. like he played so many mind games that I really learned how to just shut up, say yes, coach, and just move on to the next play.
So after St. Francis, so talk about, playing overseas. Like, what was the experiences like? And tell me, like, some of the places that you went after.
So I've been to Iceland, I've been to Ecuador, I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Chile. I did the London and Paris trip with Nike. Playing across the water, in any country. I mean, all countries is different because of, the level of basketball. The bigger the cities, the bigger the country, maybe more money, whatever the case may be. But I learned that basketball is a truly global game, and you can't overlook anybody that picks up a basketball. There's talent everywhere. Right? I had heard so many things about overseas, and everything that I had heard at one point was only the glorious stuff. Like only they pay you this amount of money, and I'm telling you, they're gonna give you your own car. I never was hearing the bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't wait to go because I'm thinking like I'm about to be in luxury. And then I got there and I was like, oh, this is a shock. Like this is not what I was hearing. And even though it was good, but it just was not what I was hearing. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that you had so much downtime, which I was not used to. I'm from the city. It's always something going on. I'm always active. I didn't know that if I practiced at 1 and then they said come back at 7, I didn't have anything else to do. So I was sitting there like, well, how do guys get better? Like, what do you do out here? And then I had to start making calls to my friends who were either going through it or that went through it and really understanding how to be a pro. All right, you're on your own. What are you going to do to get yourself better now? So it was nice. My first year out, I went to a team in Iceland in the 2nd division. Dopest thing about it was I led the whole country in scoring from 1st division and 2nd division. I led everything in scoring. So I just learned, I used high school mentality for there because I kept hearing so many things like, yo, if you have 2 bad games in a row, you might get sent home. I was like, what? Nah, I ain't doing that. This is how I got to eat. This is how I'm about to help my family. I'm not getting sent home for nothing. So I really learned how to be a professional. I learned how to show up early because the locals, they could get away with a lot of stuff because they're from there. And everything for the Americans get put on you. So I learned if I had a driver or if I had the own car, if practice started at 12:30, I learned and went back to getting to the gym at 12, getting there 30 minutes earlier, making sure I'm stretched and already loose, making sure I'm already in the gym getting up some shots and getting some work. I went back to staying late after practice was over. I learned how to just control my settings, like control what I can control, right? Yeah, I got this downtime, but am I not going to do some push-ups? Am I not going to work? Am I not going to, watch some film on myself and study some things? Like, I don't speak the same, like we don't speak, I don't speak Icelandic. So there's a language barrier a little bit. They speak English, but when they start talking their own, now I'm on my own, right? So it's like, am I going to grow into the player that I want to grow into, or am I going to be content that I made it overseas? Like, am I going to let this deal be my only deal and be happy, or am I going to use this deal to build for my next deal? So I just learned how to work, and I just started learning the business side of basketball. I started learning about contracts. I started learning about clauses in contracts. I started learning about I ain't get paid on time. Am I going to be somebody from the hood, or am I going to handle this in a professional manner?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my experience overseas, I wouldn't change it for nothing because basketball helped me see places that I never would have went on my own. and it was great. It was great. I just if I gotta help others that's trying to do what myself and others have done on this journey of basketball and going across that water, my mindset now is to prepare them for things that I wasn't prepared for. Don't just look at when somebody come home and they got on Gucci from head to toe and yeah, they made some money. You don't understand this grind. And then mentally, it's tough to be away from family for 8 months out the year, 9 months. It's tough to eat the same thing over and over and over.
You be missing that home cooking.
When you missing home cooking, when you missing holidays, when you got to celebrate your birthday in the room by yourself, like it's a grind. It's not all glitz and glamour. It is a full-blown grind. So if I'm helping the next person come up, I'm preparing them for that grind. Stop looking at Instagram or social media and just thinking that all you do is hoop and get paid. Nah, that's not it. It's a lot more that go into it.
So let's fast forward to street ball. Like, what was the one or several tournaments that you love playing in?
For street ball, I'm gonna say everything, man. I don't think there's like for real. I love the game so much, and I love the grind. Like I don't think that there's one tournament that I just like hated going to. I really love playing in everything. Like, and I killed my body multiple summers running from park to park, 4 or 5 games a day. Because I just love, like, you're not gonna say I ain't show up. Like, nah, I'm here. Right? Like when I really started doing the street ball thing, my first major one was Tri-State. Mm-hmm. And I was playing with my family, with the block team, with you know what I'm saying, with Most Hated. And there was so many other teams that was asking me to play, but I'm like, nah, I'm playing with my hood. Mm-hmm. Playing with my family. And with that kind of put me on the map street ball wise, like, yo, why is this is the only thing that he really playing in and killing it? He ain't really going nowhere else yet. And that's when the phone calls started coming in and, you know, yo, how can I get in touch with him? How can I get him on my team? So that went from playing there and then playing in Dyckman with my college teammate who had a team in 84th Street. And everybody like, yo, how he on the same team with all these Spanish dudes? He ain't Spanish. He ain't from down there. He ain't from – how he on the team with – he the only dude with 10 Spanish guys. How is he – but I was just playing with relationships that I knew. And then Keek was playing with Bingo and Dyckman. And I went to watch them play. We had lost, I think probably second round or something like that, or first round of the playoffs. My team lost, and Keek and them was about to play. And before the game, me, Keek, and Bingo's been coaching me since I was 8 years old. Like, that was one of my first coaches at Riverside. We've always been in contact. He's always been like a second father to me. Me, Keek, and Bingo sat there, and Bing conversations is very short. He has the right name, the Godfather, because his conversations is very short and is right to the point.
Right.
And Keek was like, yo, you know, next summer when we do this again, I'm only doing this if I got my man with me. And he was like, I've been waiting for Shep to come back home. You ready? And when I said, hell yeah, he was like, say no more. And that was it. And then I was in everything. I was in everything with Bingo All-Stars. Only thing that I was playing in that was different with him, and I was tearing that thing up was West Fourth. West Fourth, I was in it with I don't want to say the wrong name. It was Money something. It was I think it was like Money Inc.
Money Train?
Money Train with my homies from Brooklyn. I think it was Money Train with them from Brooklyn. I can't. I know it was the dude's show, you know, Big Fish that does all the security and all that for everybody. Big Fish, right. And we had the team. And I was in there with them. And I won West Fourth like 6 times. And I was going back to back to back every summer with them. And everybody was like, yo, how is he from Harlem playing with all these Brooklyn dudes? But they don't even understand that me and Gary Irvin been friends for so long that G. Irv was bringing me to Brooklyn to play and everything with him. So those type of connections just made it like I could not turn down playing in the game. So if you ask me, what did I love? I mean, of course, I'm gonna always say my backyard and Tri-State and Dyckman, but I loved everything because I went everywhere. And I'm from an era where if you were nice, you showed up and showed that you was nice. You didn't just kill in one tournament and you were stamped in one tournament. You had to go take your show on the road. You had to go play in Brooklyn. You had to go play in Elm Court. You had to go play in Watson before they turned the court when it was the long way. Like you had to do these type of things. You had to go out to Queens and play. Like you had to show up and show out everywhere for your respect. Nobody cared if you only dominated in West 4th Street. All right, cool. It's a small court. Now what are you doing in Dyckman? What did you win? And that was another thing that kind of made me make the transition to bingo, was because I didn't have a problem with going from being a man to being a role player that added value, but I wanted to win. I got tired of being in these tournaments playing with people and playoff time, I'm out. Yeah, I had 30, but we was losing. So when I made the transition, I was like, now we're going to win this thing. Now I'm going to get, now my 30 going to 19, but it's also coming with a win and a chip. And then another chip. And now I'm seeing like, oh, snap, I didn't know Hoops in the Sun was giving out airplane tickets and champagne bottles when you win. Now I'm getting on covers of magazines for winning streetball. I didn't know that this market was like that. Once I found out, I was like, oh, now let me capitalize off this market. And it became extremely fun running through it because it was like at a time where everybody was outside. Everybody was playing. Everybody was in a tournament. The trash talking was at an all-time high. You had to bring your game every single time or you was going to get exposed.
So talk about the summer of 2011. You were one of 10 guys that played on the illustrious Team Nike squad.
Right. The Nike experience is something like no other. It's amazing. I still, to this day, if I see a picture, if we talk about it, anything like that, like it still takes you back for a moment, and it's still breathtaking and humbling. And again, when you think about being considered one of the 10 best players in New York City, and this is no knock to anybody else that could have been on that roster, because that roster could have went 10 different ways, 10 different times, because New York City has so much talent. But when you are chosen to be a part of that, it's eventful and it's fun. And it's also like you got gratification for yourself, like for all the work that you put in. So it was awesome to be selected to be on that. And then it was just a great experience to be around, man. Like you would have thought that we were together for 5 years prior to that. Like we moved, you would have thought that we all went overseas and played on the same team and just knew how to gel and mesh. The level of professionalism that team had, the veterans that team had. And when I say vet, at that time in 2011, I probably wasn't a vet, quote unquote, even though I've been outside hooping for so long and put my work in. But when you think about Kenny Sack, Antoine Dobie, BJ, and Ant Glover, those are veterans of this thing, right? So I'm learning from them, and I'm grown, and I'm learning about the game still from them. I'm approaching this still deer in the headlights, right? Every day I'm excited about this thing, but I'm understanding, I'm learning the game more and more, and I speak a lot about professionalism because that's something that lacks especially with the kids that's coming up now, they don't understand you can't turn your professionalism on and off because you're always being watched. With Nike, it was a spotlight on us every single day. So I'm learning how to carry myself with them. I'm learning, don't let this glitz and glamour of being interviewed fool you. If we play at 8 o'clock, still get to that park at 6:45. Don't come showing up at 7:40 on Hollywood time. So I was learning from them and to have a bounty on your head every game. If you lose, the other team they getting $500. If we win, we getting it. To be on contract with Nike, to make money from them, to have that target on your back in every single game, it just raises your level of playing. Like we tapped into something different every single game. We really went out there to show people that there was you couldn't mess with us. And if you thought you could mess with us, if you thought you were going to take money out of our pocket, nah. Because we already had plans for that money. We already knew, all right, everybody getting $500. We know where we going Friday night after winning on Wednesday. We know what we're doing with this. You're not taking no money away from us. So we approached it, and for us, it was the same thing. Let's do your work early, or we party later.
Talk about the 2 games against Uwe.
Again, like I just said, right? Those 2 games, there you go. Uwe, stacked team with the Nike roster could have been their roster. We could have been Uwe. You know what I'm saying? Come on, they put together a brick. If you thought we had a brick, and you were absolutely right, they came and they put together a brick too. You got C. Fish, Dwight Hardy, Mike Glover, B. Lane. They put together a brick. Yeah, those 2 games, if you want to be technical in a nutshell, that's probably some of the most talent that anybody has seen on the floor together playing against each other in street ball since the Rucker days. You never had that much talent loaded on both sides, probably since the Rucker days. So those 2 games was just New York City basketball at its finest. The trash talking, the anticipation, the talent, the intensity, the crowd, the atmosphere. Those 2 games was something that you just can't forget. That was just something special that, again, if you missed Kobe Bryant pulling up the 55th, if you missed LeBron and them coming with Jay, if you missed the Terror Squad and Bad Boy Battles and 55th, we gave you that because you ain't seen it since then, and you might not see that again.
So, talk about playing with Kevin Durant in that game before you guys went to the playoffs. You guys played against Team 914, and there's actually still footage of that game somewhere. But talk about what it was like playing with an NBA All-Star.
I mean, it's KD, right? And since then, KD has gotten even bigger than he was then, gotten even better than he was then. He wasn't a champion then, but it was just a feeling of, and we already had new dude, you know what I'm saying? People already had their own relationships with him. People already knew him. He kind of knew everybody. But being on that floor with him was a feeling it felt good. You hooping with an NBA guy, but he's on your team. It's not like this is pickup and, you got picked or, nah, y'all are on the same team. Y'all are he's sitting there talking about certain situations and one-on-one plays. And then not only are you a hooper, but you also a fan. Because some of the things that he did on that floor, him and Beasley going back and forth for that little segment was, you still was a fan. Damn, dude is tough. But then the funny thing about it is that as competitors, we still was like, nah, we not just settling and giving him the ball every trip down. Nah, KD, you with us though. Like, you got to go get this in the flow. Like, we get it. I remember Sat was like, yo, I don't know what he talking about. I'm shooting this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was things like that kind of, I know you in the league, homeboy, but right now, today, we equal. And it was just fun to be out there with him. It was fun to kind of just, have those moments with somebody of that caliber. And to just watch him work. We would have loved for him to go crazy like he did a few games before in 55th, when he got the 60 or whatever that he got. But it was fun to be out there and hoop with him, man. That was dope. And it helped transition to other conversations, like when the following year for World Basketball Festival, when we went down to Barry Farms to DC, and now he's talking trash against us because he's rooting for Team DC. You know what I'm saying? So it helped those conversations. Like, bro, you know who we are. You know what we do. You was just on our team. So it was fun.
So, after all this street ball stuff, like, what made you get into coaching?
Coaching is something I always wanted to do. Ron Gangland, my freshman year, told me I would be a great coach because of my approach to everything, my approach to practice, my approach to film, my approach to getting better, my approach to helping other guys get better. He told me, you should be a coach when you finish playing. And I always stuck with me. I always wanted to do it. I was doing player development for a few schools and guys for a minute. But I just felt like I had so much more to give. So I had opportunities to coach before I had took the Stepinac job, but it was just, I needed to be in a situation that fit me, that was going to let me be me, and that was doing it the right way. Right? The way that Coach Pat Massaroni and that Rod Swing approaches everything with Stepinac, it was like a second home. They open the door, they welcome me, they you know what I mean, they welcome me with open arms, but they let me be me. They didn't scale me back, and they told me straight up and down, get guys better. But get guys better being you. We didn't bring you here to sugarcoat or for you to walk on eggshells. Be you. Be your aggressive self, because these kids are they need that. And to hear that, but then to also see that, I understood that I made the right decision with that, because my practices at the freshman level were similar to practices at the varsity level, just with more intensity and more talent and more, and I'm saying, because those guys are older, but we're uttering the same language. Like, everything that they're saying, I'm saying. So it just became, I followed the blueprint all year long for what they was doing. And I told my guys as freshmen, like, that's one thing that we're going to do. We're going to try to be a splitting image of varsity, from everything that we do on the court to off the court.
So, how did your freshman team do this year at Stepinac?
We did well. We lost in the playoffs, first round in the playoffs. Game that we should have won, probably our lowest scoring game of the year. But we had to play a team 3 times, and I was fearful of that. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, because that third game, X's and O's go out the window, and now it's just making plays, and now it's just who wants it more. And when you have young guys, it was a learning experience for us, because it was a fire that I'm not going to say that we weren't ready for, but now we just understood how hard it is to win at that level, at the Catholic school level, no matter what level you're playing on, freshman, JV, or varsity, or even Vars B. It's hard to win at this type of basketball in the Catholic League. It's tough. So my guys understood that you can't take a day off because that one game that you take off can hurt you. So my first year there with my freshman guys, I don't even remember our season record. And because I'm not basing it off of wins and losses. I'm basing it off of guys getting better. I'm basing it off of guys getting stronger. I'm looking at some of my guys and how they came into the year, their bodies, how they've changed at the end of the year, how their focus changed, how their preparation for things changed. It was a successful season because each one of them guys got better at some aspect of the game, right? Like it's tough to measure that young off of wins. Everybody wants to win, but the character of your team, the character of your kids is when you lose. We lost, let's say we lost January 15th. January 19th, they was like, yo, what's up? Can we start getting ready for next year? And that's where the mentality of them changed. Like when you start looking forward to practice, when I tell you like, yo, today is going to be hell day, but you start looking forward to it because you know during hell day, you're going to get better. Now, you're not going to touch a basketball today. All right, cool, but we're going to get stronger. We're going to play D. That's when I understood that, you know what? I can't measure this off of not reaching our team goal because we reached it, just not with the wins. We reached it by guys getting better and bonding and coming together because it was tough from the jump. It was tough from the jump, getting them to understand how to play, getting them to play the right way, getting them to get out of the 8th grade mentality. It was tough to get them to understand the level that they're at and how teamwork really works and how team camaraderie comes into play big time. But by the end of the season, we was there. So we met all goals. The only thing we didn't check off was that trophy that we wanted to do that we wanted to hold at the end of the year. But everything else, we got to it.
So, if you could go back in a time machine to 2002, what would you tell 18-year-old Al Shep?
If I could go back to 2002, I would tell him he's not working hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like my work ethic got better as I got older. Right? If I had the same work ethic at 25 if I had the same work ethic at 18 that I had at 25, coming out of school, coming out of high school, whatever, I probably would be in the league. Probably be a pro. It's hard to be a pro, right? But the biggest thing about pros is how hard they work. I was content with doing what I was doing because I was better than a lot of people. But if I had to tell myself something from now to back then, you ain't working hard enough. I wouldn't have changed nothing. I wouldn't have ran to another school. I wouldn't have teamed up. I wouldn't have did nothing different. I just would work even harder.
So, final question: what's next in the future for Allan Sheppard?
The future is as bright as it's gonna get. The future is gonna be what it's gonna be by my hard work, right? Shep Academy is growing. Is growing daily. I got a lot of kids, a lot of guys and girls who are getting really good with this game of basketball. That's doing major things. That's going to some powerhouse programs or schools. And my mind frame is just to work with the next generation, man, to get them ready and help be a valuable part, valuable part of their life and their growth and development with this game of basketball. Coaching, of course, I want to win a Catholic championship at whatever level I'm coaching at, right? It was great to go and be a part of the staff for our varsity team and be able to, to win it. I wish we could have finished the year off even better than we did, because we was looking to go on that state run. But for my individual goals and individual success, man, the sky's the limit through Shep Academy, because we ain't playing around over there. We work. I ain't, it's no nonsense. I don't want no Hollywoodness. Like, it's a grind, and I don't knock anything that anybody's doing. I think there's some great programs and trainers and all that out there. My old school basketball still works. The grind is the grind. The game is the game. It ain't going nowhere. So my approach to it is the things that got me better, I'm giving to y'all. And with the way that how faster the game is, how much more skilled the game is and things like that, I'm still working like I'm still playing, so that I'm ready for when I get in the gym with a kid that's like, yo, can we do what I just saw James Harden do last night? Yeah, we can, because I could do it. But we're going to get through these first 3 steps first before we get to that. So I'm never going to cheat the game. I'm never going to cheat the grind. And Shep Academy is going to be as big as we can get to. I would love to one day, college coaching or player development in the NBA, something like that. But while I'm here in this position, we're going to take these baby steps and we're going to bust our ass and work. And then we're going to live with the results of whatever happens because of how much we put in. So that's really it for me, man. I'm just trying to go to the highest I could go to, but give back to this game as much as it was given to me, times 10.
Well, thank you, Shep, for coming on to talk to me. I wish you the best of luck with Shep Academy and everything else moving forward.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. This is super dope. It's a good platform. You keep doing your thing, man. I've known you for years. I've watched you grow with this game. I've watched you grow in your own endeavors with this. So I wish you the same thing, man. I wish you as much success as possible. This hoops talk, it's a genuine conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings back memories, but it also shines light on things that people didn't know, and it highlights the game of basketball in the right way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a lot of people that's given to this game the right way. You're a dude that is, so I appreciate you for all that you're doing, man.
Indeed. Well, everybody, that's the end of episode 14. Check out this episode on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Hope you guys are having a happy Memorial Day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Yes, sir.